The controversy runs so deep, other county leaders would not even speak to New York One about how the Board of Elections functions.
Let's give it to our Brooklyn Mayor!
Brooklyn Democratic leader Rodneyce Bichotte Hermelin canceled an interview with New York One last month, refusing to talk about the BOE. We attended the county's pre-election breakfast last week.
Hi. We were trying to get in touch with you for
Okay, I'm sorry.
we've been doing about the Board of Elections.
But again, the county leader would not take our questions.
I have one question.
The Assemblywoman opted to walk in the middle of Flatbush Avenue into oncoming traffic rather than talk to us about the board. Ultimately, current and former employees at the board say it's these county leaders who have real sway over how the board functions and how our elections are run. For starters, each borough has a chair for the Republican and Democratic parties, all seen here. These leaders and their organizations typically recommend who gets nominated to the 10-member Board of Elections. The City Council usually rubber stamps those appointments, essentially meaning each county leader and organization has a seat on the board. That system trickles down to the staff as well. Sources at the board tell New York One the top positions are divided up among party leadership. So behind the scenes, the top-level jobs with the highest pay are doled out to certain county leaders to appoint. For instance, the head of voter registration is a Staten Island Republican, also the mother of the former congressman and current GOP candidate for borough president. It goes down to lower-level staff, too. State law requires hundreds of positions at the board be divided between the two parties. So let's say a Republican is inputting voter registration data, then a Democrat will review it. That's hundreds of jobs.
There are 3 levels to the 2 major political parties in the U.S.
You have a county level leadership, then you have the state, and then the state feeds in to the national.
The national RNC or DNC, which is the Democratic National Committee or the Republican National Committee, that handle the presidential, everything that is national. Then after that is broken up by state. So each state has their own Republican and Democratic state party organization, and then is broken even further in smaller pieces by county. So each county have their own structure and organization.
In New York City, each of the 5 boroughs are their own county and have their own county party.
The Republican Party also has their county committee. In New York City in particular, the Democratic Party tends to be the predominant party.
County committees are made up of seats that registered members of the party can run for and can be voted on in a primary. To understand what these seats represent, let's take a look at this map of New York City counties. Each county is broken up by thousands of these small demarcations called election districts.
Each county committee member represents an election district, which in New York City is usually 2 to 4 square blocks. It's very small. It's about 500 to 1,000 registered Democrats.
There is a male and female county committee seat representing the voters in each district. Looking across the entire Kings County, for example, Brooklyn has over 5,000 such county seats that are available for election. The number of seats available in any county committee depends on the population of registered party voters overall in that county. Manhattan has around 3,500 seats, Queens 2,700. And even though thousands of these seats are available for election in New York, typically only half of them are ever contested and won, while the other half remains empty. Such is the case in Brooklyn and in Queens. For those empty county seats, the party leaders can appoint people to fill those vacancies.
Anyone is interested to be a candidate? I'm looking for 17,000 candidates to run for county committee. Anyone interested? So the county committee member is a person who has the power to represent the community where they got elected. Then you have your district leader who are there to organize all those county committee members. The district leader are also elected on the ballot.
Meanwhile, the county committee members elect a chairperson, secretary, and treasurers of the county committee. These executive positions, along with the district leaders, form the executive committee. Executive committee and county committee are basically the 2 chambers of the county party apparatus.
District leader is a party position. That's it. every district leader makes the position a bit more, and they do a lot of street organizing and constituent services. Honest to God, that's it.
So the county committee as a whole, their responsibility is to elect the leadership of the county party. The second part is deal with all the business of the party, running the party, getting together to decide of the bylaws and things like that. And their third responsibility is to fill the vacancies of a special election when there is a assembly member or a senator we need to replace, and the county committee gets together to fill the person that will replace. And the other thing is to organize also the judicial convention and the election for the judges. 1 in 3 of your state legislators are chosen in special election. That happens when someone dies or get indicted or has to resign. Happen a lot in New York. County committee picks who the nominee will be. So 1/3 of your state legislators are chosen by county committee.
Even though the county committee is supposed to be the deliberative body that takes on these responsibilities, it is often the case that these decisions are actually made by the executive committee and its leadership, in particular the executive chairman, also known as the party boss. Such has been the case in Queens.
The New York One story does not explain how these leaders get elected. These leaders are elected by county committee members, which represent each block of New York City, one for each block. If we want to change the Board of Election, we need to change this leader and ask them question. Run for county committee using Rep My Block.
Through a method that involves people just kind of donating it, right? Not a whole lot of paperwork, not a whole lot of muss and fuss.
Yeah, well, for us, I'm one of the first candidates ever. I ran for Congress last year, and folks told me that if I didn't have $1 million, not to do it. With $20, we were able to get some of the most votes per dollar in the United States of America. So for me, this isn't about money. We're about getting money out of politics. The politicians for too long have been ran by the corporate elite, and that's part of the problem. That's why I'm actually inspiring over 17,000 Democrats to run with me to take over the county committee here in New York City and actually give that back to the people. Because right now, the folks that are in there are supporting the corporate elite. They're not supporting the people. So for us, and that's what I've done with this run. I've taught 100 people to run for office with me here. Back next, when we come in January, I'm going to get 17,000 folks to run with us for county committee and teach folks about these positions and these leaders that folks don't even know exist.
I like it. We're going to have to say goodnight for now. Thanks a whole lot. We'll wish you the best of luck. The voting starts tomorrow. Paperboy Prince.